Okay, it's me again. I think you have actually the best places for, the traditional grants and, for education or diabetes or both. And I think we mentioned this before. We talked about this before. You're not doing the research for diabetes. You're doing the education part of it, and that's God. Um, what you have, that catalog at the library from the Foundation Center is probably about the best source if you want to go that route. And that route is a long haul. And that's why it doesn't appeal to me if I was in your shoes, tell you the truth. I would still become a nonprofit, and the more I thought about this, is that I would just use capitalism, to get this done. I mean, if you look at, take a look at, what's on Google for diabetes, 271 million websites. So the information is out there, and that's not the key. And so it's obviously available, spending gazillion dollars, and then how do you package this and get it funded to be self-sustaining? There's a couple of things that come to my mind. One is most people are starting to learn through videos. I mean, that's why I'm talking like this instead of writing. And there's now platforms to make this practical, and to make it self-funding. And that's what maybe a place to think about. And there are two that I use. One is curious.com and the other is Udemy. And you could sign up there as a nonprofit, make money from them because they have traffic coming to these sites, and you could get the money from the people who come to use their sites. I mean, you look on Curious, they have a bunch of diabetes. They didn't have much, to tell you the truth. Udemy has a lot more. So this is where people are going to get education and expect it to get paid. So if you put it on just YouTube, people don't expect to pay anything there. So if you're on platforms that people put up money, that's a way to be self-funding. And the people that help you do this, they're the ones that could share in the money to do this. Now, to start, I think if I was sitting in your shoes, I would right away do a couple of videos just to get something online. And how would I do the videos? I'm not sure. You know more about this than I do. But from my side, I would do something. You see me now in the video. That's my video screen. And I do a lot of interviews all over the world of experts that I do Skype videos. So you could take like maybe 3, 4, 5 best topics that you think people want to know about diabetes that would start your creation of this larger database, and find experts around the world. You could Google them. People are experts, love to show off, and to do Skype interviews with them. So they're the experts and you're just, the interviewer, and you put these up on Curious and Udemy or both or whatever, and start a revenue stream that way. Now, because there's videos, what occurred to me too is other sources of information and money. If you look at it was in the original report, there's video platforms for this. Here's one, Seed and Spark, for people who want to do videos and documentaries and things like that. And that's a crowdfunding platform to get money for that. Then there's two for writers, that because you're really having content. Now it'll be video, maybe you could have other thing. Take a look at those websites because they're platforms for raising money, for content or even nonfiction. I guess that's content too. Or fiction, that's content too. So these are platforms to go to either find individuals or organizations, even publishers come to look at these for sites and things like that. Other things. See, the other thing about these platforms is you get your idea out there and the idea will change. People say, hey, I would like that if it was color blue. So you go home and make it blue. You don't care what color it is. So things like that happen. Distributors see you there, and they say, hey, I'd love to have that in my video library. Can you do 10 on these? And they could sell the hell out of them. So that's the way, going through the traditional grant funding process, it's giving birth. If you're in that for the long haul, that's great. But to problem I see what you want to do, you're not sure of the it's hard. None of us are sure of the end product yet. When I do something, I'm really not sure. That's why you see titles that I'm doing. The same thing, different titles. I'm not sure what people want. How do you spark somebody's thing? Like you want to help people with diabetes. Well, what? Who? There's a million ways to do that. So what is really the best way? And that's a trial and error method. You can't sit down. I mean, if you sit down and know the perfect way to educate people right now and do a business plan for that, I mean, that's like getting hit by lightning if that works. It won't. I mean, I never say never, so it may happen. I mean, in my work, I've written over 100 some books, and only 10 made money. And this is what I think about 24 hours a day. And I'm not stupid. I'm not brilliant either, but I think about it all the time. I'm only right 10% of the time. So it seems to me, anytime you're developing something for a market, you can't get this in stone how it's going to be until you're there a little bit. And that's why I think it's getting your foot into the door, into there a little bit, and developing the idea as you go along is the best way to be successful, because we really don't know. You got to go on a coffee date first before you say, hey, let's get married and start figuring this out. And these are sources that could do that. Now there's other places. I don't know, you notice that Patreon is another place, because you could get involved with, if they're video artists. I mean, you find a the local art school or something like that. They do a lot of video editing for artists, and they could even do this and get grants from your state Department of Art. So the state arts councils gives individual grants to artists. I mean, they're only a couple $1,000s, but that's enough maybe to get you through the beginning stages of all this. So you could make them look classy and snazzy or whatever, and things like that. And Patreon is another platform for artists where if people like your work, they just guarantee money every month. And they're giving out $1 million a month on this. $1 million. I mean, that's astounding to me. Okay, but I think what's maybe even better, if you want to develop the idea a little further, is do a crowdfunding site. Now, again, that's free. You could start doing anything right now, and I'll show you where on Fiverr to get help. I mean, it's not going to be the classiest looking site, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I've interviewed 700 to 1,000 people that have raised money on crowdfunding, and whether it's some sloppy site with a lousy video, or somebody has spent $20,000 on their video, none of them seem to be critical success factors. I see failures and winners on both sides. So it doesn't matter. The important thing is doing something and getting feedback. And that's another thing about using capitalism versus using the traditional method of grants to raise money. It's going to take you forever, to do those proposals. I read a lot of nonprofit grant proposals. And actually, there was some recently, one for a curation site for people with disabilities. And that's what I feel this is like. Taking existing information and doing it. I review proposals on a grant site or after they've been turned down by a bunch of grants. And that's why, you have to go through the process of failing. So do you want to learn the grant process, which may take, it's a lot of failing and getting up again and failing and getting up again, or getting out right to the end user possibly, and putting something up quickly to get that feedback, to say what it is. So and then you don't have a gatekeeper, and then when you get money for that, then you're not even sure that the people who want to use get the diabetes information will even use it, because you just convinced somebody with money they don't even have diabetes. How the hell do they know? And that's why 80 to 90% of all venture capitalists fail. So they're investing on new startup companies, and they're fat cats with money. Grants are fat cats with money. They don't know what the hell the consumer wants. So that's why this going on a crowdfunding platform, so many people have diabetes in this country. You go on those platforms, maybe you have the demographics like that, maybe older people, not younger people and stuff like that. And to get a feel for, hey, this is the product I want to create. You show a sample or two or whatever. This is whatever. You pour your heart out in a homemade video and say, hey, I need $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, whatever the hell it is, to do that. And that's the way it works. And either they send you the money or not. They don't, then you have to work harder at trying to find people who will. Yeah. Or you learn, say, hey, why don't you like it? And so you tweak it, you change it right away. So in 6 to 8 weeks, you'll have that going. And so in 2 months, you'll know, have some data back on how good this is or not is. Now, that's why, so I have crowdfunding sites. Now, here's some crowdfunding sites that aim at nonprofits. I mean, look at the couple of examples they have here. This guy running $50,000, this guy $153,000 or $100,000. And that's a site just for nonprofits. Now, here's Indiegogo, which is for anybody, but nonprofits use it. And there's, $10,000, $5,000, $12,000, $22,000 or whatever. That's the raising for their nonprofit ventures. And you don't have to have a finished product. You don't have to have anything. It's the idea, And so where is there an easier way to do this? I mean, I don't know. That's right. I would look at that. I also included some, the top 10 nonprofit crowdfunding sites to take a look at. Use crowdfunding sites to raise money for a nonprofit. And see, when you do this, they take care of everything. They take care of the finances. I mean, they take a percent, like 5-10%. And you get the rest, but it costs nothing to do it. Nothing. And you could get it all done with some professional help for about $20. And that's all. So it's an option. I mean, I don't know what's best for you. I don't know you well enough for exactly where you are in the project or what you have in mind or what your future looks like or your skills and talents. But this to me seems a lot easier way, to raise money for a nonprofit than to go through the traditional ways. And it's getting money, directly from the people who maybe want to use it. They're the people you had to satisfy. It's a twofer. Instead of getting money and then finding the people and then figuring out what it is, you quitting all that, going right to the people. Hey, is this good or not? And if it is, give me some money because you probably need it, right? Or other people, or you believe in the idea because it's good, and do it. So maybe you have to rethink the project to appeal to a crowdfunding site, but that's just detail. Well, sorry, didn't have a magic answer for you, but there is none. But you'll get the magic answer after you fail at a whole bunch of other stuff. That's the only way to get there, unfortunately.